Oh, happy Monday. Oh, happy Monday. Oh, happy Monday. Hey, it's Monday. I'm ready to work, even though I'm leaving work, but I'm coming back. I promise. I think. Just kidding, bosses. I'm coming back. Should be a good day. Lawrence and I are reading 5 Love Languages right now, and it's interesting because a part in there that we just read talks about, you know, obviously it's talking about your personalities and how people are loved, how they receive love, how they give love, all of those different things. But one part that stood out to me was talking about your different personalities, and it was saying, although your personality is a part of you, it doesn't control you. And I think that's a really big takeaway because, you know, I think a lot of times we give people passes, be it because of their, you know, their expression of their emotion or their expression of their anger. And a lot of times we feed into those things and think that this is just who I am and this is who all I'm ever gonna be. But it's not true, you know, that can be a part of you and it can be used for specific things, but it doesn't have to control you. Right? So like everyone has these different sides to themselves. I'm a very emotional person. I'm very sensitive to a lot of different things. I get affected by things very easily, and that's something that I've come to terms with over the years. But I'm also learning when and where that's appropriate. I never want to change that because I think it's a beautiful part of me now that I've accepted it. I really thank God for it. But at the same time, it's not the appropriate action for or response for everything, right? Sometimes you do have to be composed and stay in that vein to, you know, if it's getting a point across or whatever it may be. Then there's times for me where I need to know when to, you know, show that empathy and show that compassion, but I can't lend that to everybody, you know, because everyone doesn't deserve that one. But aside from being deserving of it, I can't exhaust myself by letting that lead my entire life. Just like somebody on the other side that has the ability to go stoic can't, you know, let that lead their entire life, because then when are they ever going to be able to connect? So, you know, that's just something I've been thinking about this week and something I just wanted to share and just encourage you that, you know, if there is a part of your personality or something that you're working on or working towards accepting even, or working towards settling down maybe, just remember that regardless of which way you're trying to go with it, it doesn't control you. It doesn't have to control you. It's a part of you, and it's probably a necessary part of you because that's how God made you. But just remember, you know, pray about it and ask God for guidance in when and where that's a necessary response or necessary reaction. And just remember in all things that's not what's in control of your body. You are in control of your body, and you have a choice in how you react and how you respond and what you say to people. Don't let those internal things control your every move. Happy Tuesday. I am oily. Woo! Trying to stay moisturized in this winter weather, but I think I did a little bit too much this time. So for the last 2 days, I decided to come to work with no makeup, like none whatsoever, not an inkling, not an ounce. And personally for myself, it's interesting because I used to be so dependent on it back in the day, and then that has withered away, and so I rarely do anything much at all anyways. But for work I'll at least, like, you know, splash a little bit of powder on my face because I'm like, I don't want to look crazy. But the last 2 days I've just been like, my face needs a break, and I think that's important because our skin is so sensitive, and you know, it's constantly changing and evolving, especially with the changing of the seasons and the weather. My skin was going a little crazy, and I was like, I need a break. I'm gonna go to work with nothing on, and I don't care who thinks I look crazy. That's just what it's gonna be this week. So I'm proud of myself because I'm glad to not be so dependent on it and to just be confident in what I'm rocking with what God gave me, you know, marks and all. So I'm happy about it. While we're on the topic of sensitivities, so as you guys know, I am completing my certification to be a holistic health coach. Yay! I'll be done in July. Yay! And I will have my practice up and running by then. Yay! I'm starting to work on my website now. I'm getting everything together, all of the, you know, basically prerequisites to getting to this point, so I'm super excited. But part of our lesson in the last couple weeks was about different food label claims, hence the paperwork. And I just wanted to say for a second how important it is to know and understand the labels that are on your food. They can be really confusing sometimes, but if I'm going to use this platform for everything to really like be knowledgeable and put out there the different things that I'm passionate about, this is definitely one of them. And because I've seen my life change so much through what I eat, I want to make sure that I pass that on, especially since that's going to be one of the largest parts of my career in the upcoming months. So food label claims, I'm gonna link some references down below, but basically just knowing, you know, what you're buying and why, and understanding what the labels mean. We see like antibiotic free, cage free, free range, organic, natural, all these different labels, and it can be confusing, like I said. So I'm gonna put some references down below, but just quickly to go over, if you are still eating animal protein as opposed to being vegetarian or vegan, which I'm not necessarily one way on either one of those. I think you can be healthy doing both. It's just a matter of doing what your body needs. So some people, you know, different animal proteins, they don't digest well. I don't digest certain animal proteins well, so I stick to chicken, fish, and turkey occasionally. Other people, they don't digest it at all, so they've gone completely vegan, or some are just vegetarian, some are pescatarian. Whatever works for you, as long as you're getting the best quality of food from what you're doing for your body, that's what matters. So just quickly, a couple things. If you're like me and you're still eating animal protein such as chicken or turkey or even fish, the things that you want to look for are making sure that it's antibiotic free, that it's organic, and that it's pastured. Cage free and free range are usually having to do with the different quality of eggs that we buy, which is really important as well. If you're eating beef, you want to make sure that it's grass-fed, so that you're not getting all the grains that the animal is eating. And if it does say grain-fed, you want to make sure that it's still a 100% vegetarian diet, that it's fed even with the grains. Keep in mind that the label natural doesn't mean anything. Don't be fooled by that label. It does not mean anything, and it will get you sick. Just a disclaimer. When I said pasture raised, you want to make sure that the animals, if you're still eating animal protein, are pasture raised. There's a huge epidemic going on with factory farming, and it's really, 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 really bad. The meats that we're eating are full of antibiotics. The animals are cooped up in these factories, and they're not being fed the proper diets. They're being slaughtered completely. It's awful. It's terrible. What's happening to them, and unfortunately, if you're still eating the food, then what's happening to them is then being transferred to you in your body, and then people are wondering why they can't get well. You know, you may be thinking like, oh, I'm not eating, you know, an unbalanced diet, so what's going on? Is the quality of your meat still, you know, in line with where it should be? Those things are really important. So just keep in mind that pasture raised is extremely vital to having a healthy, balanced diet if you're still having animal protein. A hot topic is GMOs. I think that's one that we all kind of have heard by now. It needs to say non-GMO project verified. If you have that label, you're in the clear. That's a big one. We obviously don't want any genetically modified organisms in our food. That's a whole nother topic that I will maybe expound on a little bit later because it could go on for days, but yes, non-GMO. Another really quick important thing that I am becoming more aware of and trying to be more cognizant of is eating locally grown food. The restaurant I talked about in a couple vlogs back, Health's Kitchen, the food is all locally grown. The benefit to having locally grown food is one, knowing where your food is coming from, for, you know, first things first. But outside of knowing where it's coming from, it doesn't have to go through all of these agents of travel to get to you, meaning that it doesn't have to be preserved in any type of crazy outlandish way before it is then fed to you, before you put that in your body, and really you have no idea what it's gone through in its passages to get here. So what I'm gonna start doing is trying to shop at farmers markets to support local farmers. One, because if we don't support them, they won't have the funds to continue to do what they're doing, and if they don't have the funds to continue doing what they're doing, then we're all screwed, because then we're all stuck eating crap. So that's just something that I want to start doing, and it would be great if you know, we could round up a group to do so. You know, just making sure that you know where your food is coming from. I know I kind of like rambled through a lot, but I just wanted to throw some wording out there if there is any confusion, and there's a ton of websites you can go to get more information about this stuff, and I'll link some as well. And if you ever have any questions, you can always send me a message if you want this specific list that I have. I will be more than happy to send it to you, and if you're looking for a health coach, please reach out to me. I would be honored to go on this journey with you.